Thanks so much, Sasha, for taking the time to chat with me today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Tasha. I'm the founder of Duraka Strategic. I'm a business coach for service-based entrepreneurs. Sasha here is still finishing, not quite finished with my Premium Clients Unlocked VIP Accelerator. So we're going to chat with her today about her experience. I'm here to help y'all get so clear and specific in your brand positioning, your messaging, and your marketing that you're consistently attracting the highest quality dream clients you love working with and that make you feel valued, respected, and appreciated. That is what the program is all about. I really love helping entrepreneurs like Sasha build their true dream business that supports their dream life with all the cash, money, time, and freedom they desire, because otherwise, what is the point of being your own boss? Just a little bit about me. I quit my job at a top 3 global advertising agency in 2019 to start Duraka Strategic. Duraka is Puerto Rican for tough cookie, and it was my nickname growing up. I have worked with all kinds of clients, Amazon, Slack, Facebook, and I've won dozens of industry awards. But my absolute favorite thing to do is help small business owners like Sasha make a bigger impact. So Sasha, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, I am Sasha Farley and I just started my consulting firm, Sasha Farley Consulting, where I work with people first leaders to help them build human flourishing cultures. So for that, it means focusing on the whole self and recognizing that everyone within an organization comes with all different parts of us, and that it's important to embrace every part of it and create spaces where you feel like you can contribute and thrive and be fulfilled so that we can leverage the benefit of all the magic of the human brain to achieve what we want to achieve in the world. So
Amazing. I love that description. Sasha, thanks so much for taking the time to chat today. So tell us a little bit about your business journey. Where were you at in your business when we first started working together, and what made you decide to join Premium Clients Unlocked?
So I was really lucky to have met Tasha and understand the services that she offered, honestly, before I even started my business. So I've always wanted to, not always, of late, I've wanted to start working for myself. It has definitely not been a lifelong dream to be my own entrepreneur. I'll probably talk about that a little bit later. But I realized that it is the best way for me to achieve my dreams, which is essentially to live in different countries around the world and really embed myself in the culture and support people in different areas. And the best way to do that is to be my own company, since a lot of companies don't really support doing that. Plus, I love the work that I do, and I was craving the ability to choose the people that I worked with and the projects that I worked with to help create the greater good in society and the world that I've been craving. So that brought me to Tasha because I realized while I'm good at what I do and I know the vision of what I want my company to do and the impact I want to make, I also don't know anything about marketing or really that much about having a business because I never thought I wanted to. So I didn't really pay all that much attention aside from what I know in helping my clients, which luckily has helped me as well. And so I knew I needed some pretty detailed marketing help because that's the piece that I don't really help my clients with at all. And so I worked with Tasha because that's one of the things that she is really skillful at. And I was looking for help in how to picture and talk about who I am, what I want to do, and build a confidence in the area that I am definitely lacking. I'm much better at it now, but still not my strong suit.
Yeah, I love that so much, Sasha. I love that you have decided to create this dream life for yourself where you get to work from anywhere, you get to work with who you want, you get to work on the projects that you really love. And that's even something we talked about in the program is offering the kinds of services and working with the kinds of clients that you really feel passionate about working with. So I'm just so excited for you. And you said that being an entrepreneur wasn't something you always had in mind. So tell us a little bit about how you decided to take the leap and why.
Yeah, so it's kind of like the journey of discovery that I think we all went through, right? COVID helped a little bit. Um, I just came to the realization that while I love the companies that I worked with and worked for once I got into the organization development field as a consultant, I always found myself wanting to do and work on different projects or having the work that I was actually doing look a little bit different in terms of its makeup and its breakdown. And for various purposes, because of the needs of the organization, they weren't able to fully support it no matter how much they wanted to, just because of the broader context that they were in. And so it started to introduce the idea that I needed to work for myself. the only way that I could truly control what I did was if I was the decision maker in terms of what I do, right? I'm still going to have the same external context that my organizations I was working for have, but I can make my own trade-off choices in it. Also, I really did want the flexibility to be able to work in a little bit more of a free form structure as I transitioned into COVID like everybody else into fully remote work. I was adding in the stuff that I already know about virtual workforces and flexible work and remote first work and all these things that I was already thinking about in the scope of helping my clients. I realized I wanted more of that in my own life, my own work breakdown. And so I had to be the owner of my own destinies for that concept. And then once I did that, I started to realize then I have full control over the type of work that I want to choose to take on and the types of clients that I want to choose to take on to help not only myself live the life that I want to live, but also help realize this concept that I was exploring in a podcast that I co-host, Transformation Horizon. We were exploring different concepts around human flourishing. And I realized that's really the area that I would love to do impact and do work to try to create that within societies and businesses and organizations. And that's not something that large organizations are really at the stage where they're going to be choosing clients for that purpose. And so if I wanted to achieve the freedom that I wanted in my own work life while also doing something that makes me personally feel fulfilled, which is a part of my own human flourishing journey, I needed to have more control to be able to make those choices. So all of that led me to finally and somewhat begrudgingly recognize that I needed to work for myself in my own firm and do all of the business things associated with that, which is not the things that I'm super thrilled at, but it would be worth it to be able to get all the other benefits. So
I love that so much, Sasha. You are such a leader in your field. And like, what a powerful choice to be like, this isn't really a thing, but I really believe in this and I'm going to go out there and create it. And it is worth it to me to learn all of the things about starting a business so that I can get to do this work that I'm so passionate about and get to have so much freedom and so much choice in my life. That's amazing. Whew. So tell me a little bit about where you were at in your business when you decided to join Premium Clients Unlocked.
yeah, so when I decided to join the program, I had just started working for myself and was trying to figure out, I had a couple base clients that I was working with that were like continual clients from before. And I was trying to think about how can I start attracting new clients. And I realized to achieve the benefit that I wanted, I didn't want to be doing a lot of little projects for little bits of money. I would like to do projects that felt fulfilling, but that also I could do a handful of them at a time. So I'd still have enough freedom and space to do the other activities that I'm really passionate about as well. But I also was struggling with how do I even find those people? And then when I find them, how do I talk about myself, which is very uncomfortable for me, in a way that will attract them to want to work for me, but that also didn't feel really salesy or braggy or any of these things that aren't really authentic to me. And I was having trouble figuring out how to create the right balance to do both of those things simultaneously. And so Premium Clients Unlocked seemed like a good structure to help me think through what that would look like and help me get a little bit crisper on how to balance some of the pieces that I was struggling with, namely like, okay, we'll just be honest, as women entrepreneurs, we have this tightrope that we have to walk in terms of likability and competence.
Yeah.
And there's lots of research. We all know, right? The more likable you are, the less competent you seem. The more competent you seem, the less likable you are. And so how do you, and both of them are important for wanting to work with women. And so trying to figure out how to balance those things while being authentic at the same time, which is very important to me, to show up as myself, but also like recognize the social construct that we live in. And so I was finding myself kind of stuck and not wanting to do anything. And so I needed some help to think through my choices and help me get past it.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for being open and honest and vulnerable because like these are the real conversations that we had inside the container, right? And these are things that you don't necessarily see people talking about on Instagram, right? But like these are the real struggles that women and entrepreneurs of color that we face. And it's so important to talk about these things because you're not the only entrepreneur going through this struggle, right? Like the people watching it, they are going through this struggle too. And so just by you sharing your experience and normalizing it and validating those feelings, saying, listen, this is a struggle that I'm having. These are the decisions I'm having to make. Like I needed support to figure this stuff out. Like that's so, so important to let other people know that they are not alone and that this is normal and that we all go through this and we have to support each other through it. So thank you so much for sharing that. Whew, okay, tell us a little bit about what it was like in the program. You just told us like your mentality going into it. So what are some of the tangible growth and changes that you've seen since we started working together? And that could be in terms of new leads, new ways of doing things, system structure, the way you talk about your business, all that good stuff.
Oh, well, there's a lot of things. I think the biggest takeaway that I got from the program was so my authentic self and kind of the way that I am. And I took some brand archetype stuff that around the same time period that highlighted like that I'm like a maverick brand type is my natural connection. Which is a scary thing to think about because maverick types kind of break things and do things outside the mold and like push and challenge the status quo and stuff like that, which 100% resonates with me. Literally, while I was reading it, I was like, yes. And I got super excited to write a bunch of content and to just talk about the things that I wanted. But then I got scared because I didn't want to ostracize anybody because I am trying to build a business. And in the end, I do need to have clients and I do need to make money. And so recognizing the pragmatic side of having a business with the vision of, oh, I get to choose all the clients that I don't want to work with. And so the tangible thing that I got away from the program was really having a space and time to think through in a structured process, basically, what I want out of my end goal for my company, what I want out of an end goal for the impact I'm making, and also gain comfort with the fact of where I wanted to draw the boundary between being authentic to myself while also leaving things open for a business that I am still honestly creating. And I probably will still be creating forever because that's the nature of businesses. But like, I didn't feel so restricted that I couldn't say these things. And instead, I feel a sense of comfort with leaning in and writing the things that give me energy and it helped really remind me and like to my core remind me that I'm doing this because I want to do something that I like the things that I do every day, that I have the energy to write about the things that I do every day, that I'm excited to work with my clients. And that even if the topics that I want to write about or the things that I want to say might seem a little bit scary or might be off-putting for some people in my potential client list, that maybe those aren't the right people that I want to be working with. And that's part of the reason why I'm trying to make this change. So it helped me really get comfortable there. The other one that I wanted to highlight is getting very good at how I talk about what I want to do. So I know my stuff really well. When I'm talking to a client, I'm very good at translating things into plain language for my clients to understand. When I write something down, I like to do it from a thought perspective and a big picture visionary perspective, which can turn into using a lot of jargon because I'm trying to write about really complex things. And I don't really have the energy to describe each different element of that complex thing to then show the pattern that I'm trying to highlight, which is problematic because the people that will benefit the most from the patterns that I'm trying to highlight and the benefits and the things that we can do within those situations need some of the more details and need some of the more plain language of how to describe them. So I have taken away with in certain topics. I still do it way too much in other topics, but I'm getting a lot better in how to be crisp around talking in a clear way about some of these really complex topics that I want to help my clients with in a way that my clients can understand, that business people can understand, that anyone who is not in my field and isn't really heavily versed in social or psychology or social, any sort of sociological or people-based sciences can understand.
100%. Yeah, you've done such an incredible job, Sasha, in this program, like We've done so much work on clarifying your brand position, making it a really good fit for the kinds of clients that you actually want, identifying the kinds of clients that you really want. And then you've been making some hard choices too, to like be like, okay, like this is the kind of client, this is not the kind of client. And like, I'm going to let this opportunity go because I want to focus on this thing that I really want. Like, that is a very advanced mindset. And I've also seen you evolve your marketing strategy. You've been getting more visible, you've been getting more leads. So like, I'm so, so proud of you and all of your progress. What does it feel like to have your business where it is today? I know you basically just started out. It's only been a couple of months. You've been growing your business in the program. Like, how are you feeling? And what have you been able to do because of this that like Sasha 10 years ago would just be like so amazed and so impressed and so proud of you about?
I am really proud of how crisp I think I've gone on what I want to achieve, and how. It's hard in my field because as an organization development person, I we can do a lot. Basically, I can apply my expertise in a lot of different areas, and it was really hard to figure out, well, what areas do I want to apply them to? Because honestly, I like applying them in a bunch of different areas. That's part of why I went into my field, is that I can be very good at the approach that I take, and I can apply it in everything from strategy to organization design efforts to communication processes. Like, I can apply them to anything. The challenge was I can't market everything because then nobody knows what I do. And so really, I'm really proud that I actually know the things that I want to focus on for now. It's definitely not forever, but it definitely is for now. And I think focusing on that has actually helped me while I was in the program get my first client that came purely from me being as an independent consultant. And I definitely feel like I'm set up for attracting more clients in the future. I have a lot of things primed and ready to go. And I'm very excited to see and launch a bunch of those initiatives and to put out the marketing out there and see what gets attracted to me in the meantime.
Amazing. I love that so much. And congratulations. It's such a huge feat to like get that first independent client. Like, that's such a huge milestone. Tell me a little bit more about some of the non-tangible growth you've had in your business through the program. Like, for example, your confidence, your mindset, stuff like that.
Try not to repeat myself because there's so many different things. Like, what have I already said? I feel like being part of the program and talking to the other participants in the program and just the environment that it created really gave me a lot of confidence to recognize that, like, even though I feel like I'm not perfect at this marketing, I don't fully understand how to do it, and I'm not the most comfortable at hitting post on all of these things, and help me realize that I'm not by myself, that pretty much everybody else is like that. Everyone freaks out when you write that first perfect post, and just pressing the button is like, just do it. Really quick, and then you're like, it's done, it's too late, it's too late. um it's funny that like those sort of tangible things of just recognizing that the challenges that I have are not unique, that everybody has them, and also the confidence to move through them by knowing that it's not a unique challenge. There's something really like special about understanding that you are part of a community and that I have connections now within that community that I can pull on if I need to, and I can learn from and continue to learn from when I watch what they do. Has really helped, I think, with my confidence and increase my likelihood and my ability to just market myself, even if it's uncomfortable.
Mhm.
And especially because I have had help thinking through what balance I want to draw for myself in the competency, likability, and how to really feel comfortable being my authentic self, which I always will be in the end. But the internal conversation around, well, should I not be, is what creates the barrier to
Yeah.
actually put myself out there. And so now I feel really confident to just put myself out there in the authentic way, even though I know I never would have done it not authentically. It probably would have taken me a lot longer to get to the point where I feel comfortable hitting post, without being able to work through those balances within the group.
100%. I love that so much. So tell us a little bit about what it was like doing Premium Clients Unlocked. Would you recommend it? Who do you think can benefit from it the most?
Yeah, so it was really I really liked the structure because it kept me accountable, which I needed, which is part of why I signed up for it in terms of the weekly cadence of I need due dates sometimes, especially when I'm busy with other stuff. Um, and I liked the combination of learning a bunch of things, but then being to have discussions throughout all of it and being able to stay connected in between. Um, I honestly would recommend this program to anyone who has an idea of what the business is that you are and what you want to do, and really just wants to kind of refine it and or improve it or rejigger it if you've been doing it for a really long period of time and really want help thinking about what that can be. um, I think it's a really helpful process to come into when you already have a foundation. um, and then you just want to elevate it and shift it or really refine where you're trying to go. I think anyone that's like that, and then whether you're a small business of one person like me, or you have a small cadre of people in your corner, I think it could be really helpful to have those sort of explorations because a lot of it is done outside of the sessions as well. So I think even if your organization isn't just one person and you want to talk it out with your group, you could also do that because there's time, the way that it sort of structures like an executive style program, right? So a little bit of classes, a lot of in between work, and then circle back around to learn and share with each other. So, and it was a really supportive community. So also if you're looking for a community to connect with other people in a similar headspace, definitely a good opportunity to do that.
I love that. And I think this is the first time you've invested in a business coach, right? So, how did you decide to take that leap? Was it scary? Did you feel like it was worth the investment? And, like, what advice would you give to a fellow entrepreneur who's thinking about joining but is really nervous about making that investment?
Yeah, it was hard for me to want to invest. Not the time, but it was more the money because it was probably one of the bigger expenses that I've done. Um, and it was scary because you don't always know what you're going to get out. But I definitely am really confident in the fact that I will make the money back that I invested in, because not only in relation to the time, like my time, because one thing that I have been kind of taking away from this program is like I also kind of think about my own time and the time it takes me to do different efforts, as in the time that I would charge somebody else to do it, and helps me with my decision on whether I want to outsource it or do it myself. Is the things that I've learned are going to decrease the amount of rework that I'm going to need to do. And then also really makes things really fine tuned. There's still a lot of to-dos in my to-do list of work that I want to do coming out of this program. And every time I sit down and I do them, I actually can crank them out really quickly because we've already done the thinking that primes me for it. I just need to sit down and do the writing or do whatever the activity is. And so that by itself is like 100% worth the price and the investment that I put into it in terms of the time and energy as well. So
Amazing. Thank you, Sasha. Okay, last question. What advice would you give your younger entrepreneur self?
my younger entrepreneur self of like 6 or 7 months ago.
Yeah.
No, my young.
What would you tell her? I mean, you've grown
um,
a lot in those 6 months, you know what I mean?
I would say what I still am telling myself. if, don't like just do it. Like perfect isn't like don't wait for perfect. Like done is better than perfect.
Yes.
And you can just do it again. It's fine. And like so yes, done is better than perfect. Just
I love
and
that.
my done is already really good. So just trust it. Trust it.
100%. You are such a boss. You're such an expert. And I love what you said about entrepreneurship being a journey, and your business is always going to be growing and evolving. And just because you post something today doesn't mean like that's the fixed story about your business forever. Constantly going to be learning, constantly going to be growing. We're constantly getting better and improving. So I love that. It's been such a pleasure having you in the program, Sasha. And thanks so much for taking the time to chat today.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.